Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond Life Paranormal Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Reynolds. We got a good show tonight. We're going to be talking about some cryptids tonight. Um, One of them's from my neck of the woods here towards the Ozarks in Missouri and Arkansas. So, um, say hi to everybody in the chat. Hey, Gary, welcome in. Thanks for coming back. Sandy, welcome in. Um, Before we get started, we're gonna plug. I'm gonna plug a couple events first. Um, Sky Alpha, hola. May 9th, Mother's Day, which is coming up soon. We will be at Mortuary Manor. My dad and I are the VIP guests. Come and investigate with us. Also, you can learn from us as well. So, if your mom's interested in the paranormal, it'd be a good Mother's Day present. Bring her along with you. We are there from 7:45, I believe, till 7 in the morning. So get your tickets fast. I know tickets end and sometime in April here. So make sure you get them fast before the ticket prices end. Reach out to Eclipse Paranormal on Eventbrite to get your tickets for that. Um, in August, we are confirmed for Bordertown Paracon. August, I believe it's August 6th this year. So come on out to Caney, Kansas. My dad and I are guest speaking this year there. And I'm also on the ghost panel this year at Bordertown. And then after that, we are at Crypticon KC. So come check that out. Make sure you get your tickets for that quick. Big horror movie convention. A lot of good actors going to be there this year. Tyler Mage, who played Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween. You got Derek Meeks, who played Jason in the remake of Friday the 13th. There's quite a few good actors, some from Critters, some from The Walking Dead. Um, there's quite a few that are going to be there. And then after that, we will be at the West Kentucky Paranormal Expo in Kentucky. Aaron G. Thompson is headlining this year for that. Come on out in December the 26th in Mayfield, Kentucky, and come see us all. I'm also one of the guest speakers there, so come on out and check it out and have some fun. And then October, we are confirmed for Rock Island Paracon too, so we'll be there as well. So you can come out and check that out. They got a private investigation going on too as well. As soon as I get the flyer, I will be posting them. So, without further ado, we're gonna get into tonight's show. Um, we're gonna talk about three cryptids tonight. We're gonna talk about the Michigan Dog Man, the Ozark Blue Man, and the Alaguai, the giant human that is in the Allegheny Mountains that's been spotted. Um, Iran should be our new colony. Hey, cousin Kathy, welcome in. So let me get to my notes here. This is the Michigan Dog Man. The Dog Man's been spotted in several states around the United States, and he's been spotted quite a bit here in Missouri, from what I was told. Um, Carter was telling me about it. Um, Also, before we get into it, if I do get kicked off, it's because we are getting a nasty thunderstorm here in Missouri tonight. We are under tornado watch for tonight, so if I get kicked off, that's probably why. Our power's been blinking back and forth for a while here, But I'm gonna go to my notes here and get into the Michigan Dogman. The Michigan Dogman is a werewolf or werewolf type creature first reported in 1887 in Wexford County, Michigan. Sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan, primarily in the northwestern quadrant of the Lower Peninsula. In 1987, the legend of the Michigan Dogman gained popularity when a disc jockey at WTCM-FM recorded a song about the creature, and it is reported sightings. The history, Steve Cook recorded a song named "The Legend" with a keyboard backing and credited it to Bob Farley. After he played the song, Cook received calls from listeners who said they had an encounter with a similar creature. In the next weeks after Cook first played the song, it was the almost requested song on the station. He also sold cassettes of the songs for $4 and donated proceeds from the single to animal shelters. Over the years, Cook had received more than 150 reports of the creature's existence. Cook later added verses to the song in 1997 after hearing a report of an animal break in by an unknown man at a cabin in Luther, Michigan. He re recorded the first known sightings of the Michigan Dogman occurred in 1887 in Wexford County when two lumberjacks saw a creature whom they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. In 1938, in Paris, Michigan, Robert Courtney was attacked by five wild dogs and said that one of the five walked on two legs. Reports of similar creatures also came from the Allegan County in the 1950s and in Mainstay and Cross Village in 1967. Lisa S. Godfrey, in her book The Beast of Bray Road, compares to the Manistee sightings to a similar creature sighted in Wisconsin known as the Beast of Bray Road. And in A Hoax in 1987, disc jockey Steve Cook at WTCM-FM in Traverse County, Michigan, recorded the song titled "The Legend," which is initially played on as an April Fool's Day joke. However, he based the verses on actual reports of the creature. Bill Chanel considers the Michigan Dogman a hoax. And that is some of the info I found on it. Yeah, the Ozark Howler, which is supposed to be a smaller version of a canine, is what I found on the Ozark Howler. And I may still have a picture of the Ozark Howler. I did a podcast episode of the Ozark Howler, and he's kind of a little different creature than what your Dogman is. Your Dogman's more like uh werewolf type, and let me see if I can still have it. But yeah, they say like the Ozark Howler is only like this little thing compared to what the Dogman's supposed to be like, and they had a spotting in Connecticut, somewhere near Connecticut, also with the type of Dogman werewolf creature, which they call it in Connecticut just plain werewolf. But let's see, not sure if I still have it of what the Ozark Howler is supposed to look like. Nope, I don't have it anymore. I did have a picture of it. Yeah, Jeanette, they're hitting here too. That stopped for a while today, and now it's really pounding us again. Um, see if I can find a picture of that Ozark Howler. And they also say the Ozark howler is not as aggressive as the dog man. Yeah, I was able to find the Ozark howler, which looks kind of nothing like. This is what the Ozark howler is supposed to look like. I mean, you can see he's got the Ozark howler's got more of a feline face, a little bit like a cat face with the nose and stuff, compared to that right there. Oh, that's awesome. It's clear there. Yeah, we're getting hit with it. We're on, like I said, we're under tornado watch tonight. Um, so I mean, what's this saying that it may be a hoax, the dog man, but I mean, there's been more and more sightings going on around the country. What do you think original origins things are? Do you think they live underground? It's a possibility. They could live in the cave systems. I mean, you figure Missouri's got its share of caves, Michigan's got its share of caves. I mean, they've been spotted pretty much near mines and stuff. So, and I mean, we're here in Missouri, we're loaded with the mines and the caves and all that down in the Ozarks. So, I mean, it could be another version of the Ozark Howler too. Um, but we are going to talk about one from the Ozarks tonight. Um, and this guy right here, he is known as the Ozark Blue Man. And the Ozark Blue Man was a wild man-like creature reported to roam the remote wooded hills around the Ozarks. Creature was infrequently seen, but his presence felt as far back as the 1860s. Looking to chase and kill, he carried a wooden club in his hand, and his huge hand threw large boulders and feasted upon livestock. Periodic events sent locals spinning into a tizzy and brave men searching the woods, and caused enough excitement to last until the next sighting. It was the Blue Man Spring Creek. It is a genuine, and if the testimony of scores of men during all these years is to be accepted, the legend is absolutely true. Reported the Springfield leader in 1924, the name allegedly came from the Blue Sol Collins, the first man to see him. That sighting supposedly took place in 1865 and was recounted in the Springfield Republican in 1915. In the early spring of 1865, Blue Sol Collins was hunting on the divide between North Fork and Spring Creek. A light snow had fallen the night before. The woodland seemed to be covered by a madrid of tracks: turkey tracks, deer tracks, rabbit, fox, and coon tracks, big and little tracks, but most conspicuous were the tracks that resembled somewhat of those of a bear. Blue Sol was a hunter without fear, and believing the bigger the game, the better the hunt. He followed the long, broad tracks with the claw like impressions in the soft snow. After following the trail for several hours over North Fork Indian and Spring Creek hills, Saul suddenly came upon the object of his search on the north slope of the upper Twin Mountain. Saul looked jumped out of the path of several descending boulders and ran. He had seen an object mistakenly human, though strongly resembling a vicious animal, hurling huge boulders at him down the steep hillside. Newspapers reported periodic encounters in the years that followed. The experiences weren't only tied to Douglas County. At other times, he was supposedly seen in counties such as Ozark and Howell. And the description of the blue man was described as a Neanderthal like and wearing primitive animal skin clothing while wielding a wooden club. Sightings often reported the creature leaving Bigfoot like footprints. It goes by the guy that spotted him, Blue Saw. So they just because it was his sighting, his story, so they just called it the Blue Man instead. Um, and that's why they called him the Blue Man, which is kind of strange. I'm wondering if it's just another Bigfoot or something. It could be just another Bigfoot. Um, but you don't hear any more reporting or anybody say it or anything like that. Um, so which is kind of strange. So I'm wondering if he's another Bigfoot. I'll do some research and I'll reach out to Carter, our Bigfoot guy here in Missouri, and see if he's heard any reports of him currently being spotted. But I mean, what's not saying maybe this is some big one of the Pharaoh people that live in the Ozarks, and he's a just a big burly of a guy that can be mistaken as a grizzly bear because he's probably full of hair and he probably wears. I mean, there is bear down in the Ozarks, so maybe he's wearing bear fur and stuff like that, and he could be a 7 foot tall guy, big guy. Who knows? And I mean, we could speculate theories on it all the time about it and not have a definitive clue. So with it, and but in my opinion, I think it's just another Bigfoot sighting. I think he's just another Bigfoot, maybe just a different form. You know how we've got so many different forms of Bigfoots out there. I mean, you've got the Boggy Creek monster, which is also down there, and then you've got the Ozark Bigfoot that's down there. Um, that's very aggressive. In fact, there's a movie we watched the other night on that Bigfoot down there in the Ozarks, and which is the Boggy Creek monster, and he he's very aggressive. He's one of the most aggressive Bigfoot. So maybe that could be what the Blue Man is the Boggy Creek Bigfoot. He could be a feral human being that lives in the mountains. Yeah, he could be a feral human also. One of them supposed feral people that live in the Ozarks that are cannibals. Um, but like I was saying, that movie with the Boggy Creek one I watched, that Bigfoot in that movie was aggressive. It was a two brothers and a sister, and they were taking their mom's ashes up to spread them at a cabin they had up there, and they get stranded on the side of the road, and the Boggy Creek monster. And one brother tries to hike to town and runs into that Boggy Creek monster, and that thing grabs him, starts dragging him through the woods and all kinds of stuff. He stabs it, makes it back to the vehicle, and the Boggy Creek monster shows up at the vehicle, flips over, and they escape out into the bushes, and that monster's after him, and the older brother tries to lead him away, and the older brother, that thing gets on him and starts pounding on him. So, but our next one we're moving on is another cryptid, very interesting one. Um, he is known as the Aloe Alowegi, Alowegi or something like that. He's known to the Allegheny Mountains, which is in Pennsylvania, as many of you know. And there's a lot of sightings of Bigfoot out there in the Allegheny Mountains too, which my dad and had our first Bigfoot experience in the Allegheny Mountains. And he could be a fair. And so, which I don't know why they call him a troll, because usually trolls are like short. And this thing is tall. Um, the Alawagi is a giant humanoid cryptid native to the Allegheny Mountains, which cuts through the United States and Canada, standing between an impressive 15 to 20 feet tall. They are said to be highly intelligent man eaters and have been stated as welding, wielding tools and wearing primitive clothing. They are cave dwellers, preferring those near the tops of their mountain homes. Surprisingly, they appear to hunt for sport rather than strictly for survival, a trait also found in not only humans but also some primates such as chimpanzees and even reported in dolphins. Another similarity to chimps is that they will capture a prey item before releasing it to catch it again, possibly as a way of training their young, similar to cats. Some reports indicate that they are reptilian in nature, describing them as a type of reptilian humanoid, which others insist that they are hominins. In fact, Elawagi or Ilawagi, or other variants, is the name of the purported ancient Native American people associated in tradition with the construction of prehistoric earthworks and fortifications in the Mississippi and Ohio River valleys. Although commonly identified in the 19th century sources as a giant race encountered and expelled by migrating Lenape and Iroquois peoples, the historical existence of the Alawagi is widely disputed among scholars and regarded as part of native oral tradition, settler myth making, and early attempts of ethnological explanation of the so-called mound building. A purported photo of a skull from one of the alleged skeletons has been put on display in a museum. A 2022 article in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette reported local claims that the 1921 University of Pittsburgh excavation in Verona uncovered two skeletons over 9 feet tall, and that further discoveries in South and North Park yielded similarity oversized remains. Local historians John Shalaki connected these archaeological findings to the legend of the Alawagi. Despite popular fascination with tales of giant skeletons, archaeological investigations have found no credible evidence to such claims. In 2020 retrospective by Robert S. Peabody Institute traced one widely circulated story concerning the horned giants, allegedly unearthed in Pennsylvania in the 1916, to the misinterpretation of deer antlers found in the burial context. Original investigators made no mention of the giants in their published reports, and later analysis concluded that both the reported size and nature of the remains have been exaggerated or misidentified. As noted by Emily Hurley, early excavators may have overestimated the structure of the remains due to cultural expectations and relative height differences. At the time, the average height of most Europeans was about 5 feet 6 inches tall, whereas Native Americans were thought to have averaged about 6 feet tall. While 6 inches is not that big of a difference, anyone taller than 6 feet may seem like a giant to the generally shorter Europeans. So that's kind of an interesting creature. Hey, Carol, welcome in. So he stands from like 15 to 25 feet tall. Um, and he lives in the Allegheny Mountains. So again, can you interpret that him as a Bigfoot too? On top of that, um, they say he's also a man eater and all kinds of stuff, and he likes to hunt his prey and release it like a cat, which is pretty neat. And which elementals. So maybe he's an elemental. He could be an elemental as well. So um, but yeah, he's a little different. And you don't hear any sightings of him. So is he something that maybe implanted in somebody's mind and somebody ran with the story? And what's saying those skeletons are? I mean, you get some people that can hit over 9 feet tall. I mean, there. Look at that one old wrestler. He was 8 foot tall. I mean, look at some of your NBA players. Some of them are like over 7 foot. I mean, the one NBA player, Manute Bol, he was 7'7". So, I mean, what's saying he's not? So, those skeletons that they found, I'm, I don't think they were the skeletons of this thing. Um, I mean, look how many people have said they shot Bigfoot as well. So, and the guy said a hunter said he shot Bigfoot. He buried him under leaves, came back, and there was nothing there. It was gone. Yeah, Robert Waldo. Yeah, he was. He was over 8 foot tall. Um, there was there was another one that was over 8 feet tall. I'm trying to think who it was. Um, but like I said, Manute Bol, the basketball player, he was 7'7". I've seen a few basketball players almost 8 foot. Hey, Barbara, welcome in. We're just talking some cryptids tonight. We were talking about the Dog Man of Michigan, the Blue Man of the Ozarks, and then the Alawaji from the Allegheny Mountains, which is what's interesting about all this, even the cryptid field, is you can never prove it. That's what makes it interesting because you're always out there searching. And but I mean, how come nobody's ever seen this troll figure anymore? You don't hear any sightings of it, any reports of it, nothing from any mountains except for just that one. That's why I don't get how you don't see him anymore. So that's what I'm wondering if he's just a hoax that's made up. But that's even like the Ozark Howler that they talk about. And there was one night my dad and I were actually coming home. This was about November, so it was after daylight savings time. It was about, I want to say, 7 o'clock. We're coming down this long stretch of road. Now, on both sides, there's Amish on this side, there's a farm on this side, and something black on all fours crosses in front of my car. My headlights passed right through it. Thing gets on the side of the road, stands straight up on two legs, looks at us, red glowing eyes, and when it was solid when it stood up on two legs. We looked at each other like we couldn't believe it. Like, what is that? Oh yeah, the Wampus cat. Yeah. For you new viewers, I may still have a picture. I also did a episode on that. Also, the Wampus cat. Let's see if I still have a picture of the Wampus cat. The Wampus cat kind of looks like a mountain lion, but it's got some odd features to it. Um, it's in my other folder here. I know I did an episode a while back on the Wampus cat, which was on that TV show Mountain Monsters. They went after the Wampus cat. Looks like I don't have it anymore. See if I can find a picture of the Wampus cat. I'll show you new viewers. He's a kind of a weird looking cat. There's actually I found a statue of him, and See if StreamYard will let me put it up there. Yeah, he's got like several extra legs. See if I can find it. StreamYard may not let me put it up because he's it's a different file. Yeah, it won't let me put it up. But he looks like a mountain lion, same color, but he's got extra legs. Is what it's got, and it's actually a school mascot. The Wampus cat is. Let's see. I'll share my screen so y'all be able to see it. But yeah, he's the Wampus cat's pretty interesting. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I don't get into the whole politics thing. This is more of a paranormal podcast, not really so much the politics. But yeah, I agree. R.I.P. to Charlie Kirk. There's the Wampus cat. That's what he's supposed to look like. He's got the extra front legs, which he's seen in the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. And if you remember the TV show Mountain Monsters, they went after the Wampus cat. Yeah, I don't do into politics. Sorry, he has a spot in hell for him. You can't be against people, color, minority, never praise races. I don't get into all that politics stuff. Like I said, this is just a paranormal podcast. So, what's going on, Granzer? I don't blame you. I mean, I don't get into it, but I have a picture of an Antillian from when I was down in the lava tunnels of Mount St. Helens because I had a panic attack down there. Mountain monsters are coming back. Oh, nice. I didn't know they. I knew they were off, but I didn't know they were coming back because I saw they were on. They call them the Sons of Appalachia, and I see they're on YouTube now. Granzer, we were talking about uh the Michigan Dog Man. Um, talking about the Blue Man of the Ozarks, and then the Troll of the Allegheny Mountains, which is the Alawaji, the giant humanoid creature that stands 15 to 25 feet tall. pretty interesting which to even to live up there in the Allegheny Mountains. I wonder how him and Bigfoot get along up there. No, I never got a chance to read one of them books. I need I need to check them out, and I haven't had a chance to. My schedule is just so busy, and I mean we're booked up for the rest of this year, um, so my schedule's kind of tight. Plus working a full time job too. So, but yeah, I'll definitely check her. Does she have them on audiobooks too? 'Cause I'll get one of the audiobooks and then I can listen to it when I'm driving or whatever. Michigan Dogman, Werewolves, and Other Unknown Canines Across USA Unexplained presents paperback. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, like I was saying earlier, we're getting uh reports of dogmen here in Missouri like crazy. My friend's Monstrous is getting reports of them. Red Dirt Cryptids. My buddy Carter Bouchard, he's getting them too. Um, the last time I talked to him, he said he's been getting a lot of reports of dogmen here in Missouri. Seems to be many different beings that we don't know anything about, but they're out there. Yeah, they are out there. I mean, especially when you're out there in the woods and you're getting that feeling like you're being watched constantly, and then all of a sudden the woods just goes quiet. There's nothing moving. It just goes to like a dead silence, and you get that eerie feeling like the hair on the back of your neck standing up and like you're being watched by something. It is a nerve-wracking feeling. I mean, I grew up in the woods. I grew up hunting and with my dad, and he's had me in the woods since I was a little kid. So, I mean, first time I went in the woods, I was about 6 years old. My dad took me out there. So, and especially going out, you go out early in the morning, especially us deer hunters and turkey hunters. We go out early in the morning, way before daylight. So, and a lot of times you do get that eerie feeling when you're out there. And I mean, like on our game camera where we caught that strange mist that was only about this big that traveled front of the game camera, and it was enough to kick the game camera to motion. And we could see it with our own eyes, that just that strange mist floating right across. And it just had broken daylight that morning. I'd rather connect with spirits than having that feeling out in the woods, right? Yeah, it's eerie feeling, especially if you're in a new area that you don't know. Yeah, it gets a little nerve wracking, and then all of a sudden you don't hear an animal, especially even like when it breaks daylight. You usually hear all the birds chirping, and then all of a sudden it just stops, and the woods goes to a dead still, and there's nothing, and it's like everything's scared away. So, and then all of a sudden you're feeling that feeling in your gut like you're being watched or something out there. And chances are you probably are. I mean, I've walked in the woods early in the morning. My dad and I did. We went turkey hunting and walked in the woods. My dad dropped me off in one area. I set up my turkey decoy. Nerve wracking feeling is you hear howling right next to you, and then one below you, and then start all the way around you. You're sitting right in the middle of all this howling going on. And if you ever been out there and heard them coyotes howl and carry on. But I grew up in the Catskill Mountains, which we're known for our cryptids up there as well. We're known for our Bigfoots and stuff like that, and the Catskill Witch and all kinds of mysterious things up there in the Catskill Mountains. Which you figure the Catskill Mountains, they attach right into the Appalachian Mountains and the Smoky Mountains. So there you go. And then you got the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. So, and Pennsylvania's got their share of Bigfoot cryptid sightings like crazy too up there. For some reason, that whole New England area is just a hotbed for cryptids too. I mean, Ohio's starting to get them now. From what I hear, they're starting to have more and more sightings in Ohio of Bigfoot and Dogman and several. I mean, there's that one town out there in Ohio. And Jeanette, if you're still watching, you'll probably know. You probably know the town. It's abandoned. I don't know if it's called Helltown out there in Ohio, um, which is a pretty haunted town. I'm wondering if some of the cryptids are hanging in that old abandoned town because got the old houses out there. We had a lot of sightings, but they have been around. Yep, as I was just talking about Helltown. Yeah, because nobody lives in Helltown, so and that's one place I would love to go to and check out is Helltown and investigate it. Bear with me. I thought I heard our tornado siren going off. But yeah, Helltown would be an awesome place to investigate. I don't know who you would get a hold of to even get in there. It's probably owned by the city, I would think, whatever that city is. I'm game if yeah, I'm definitely game for Helltown. We need see if you can do some digging, Jeanette, and see who we can get permission to go there so we can do it legit, not trespass. Yeah, sorry guys, I saw I just blotched out for a minute. Um, but yeah, definitely do some digging on that. But we're only gonna do an hour tonight, being we're getting pounded with some storms here in Missouri tonight. So we're not gonna do a usual 2 hour show. We're just gonna do an hour tonight. But but yeah, definitely Joanne Jeanette, check that out and let me know what you find out about that. That'd be an awesome place to go check out. I know you have to hike back into there. There have been sightings. Yeah, I heard that. Even when I was a kid, they had sightings in Sussex, New Jersey. Um, my buddy Tommy Sullivan's from New Jersey, and he told me they were when he was younger, they were out there was a road out in New Jersey that they were on, and they had this person come out into the road, and the person just went right across the road. Their lights passed through it, disappeared. They couldn't explain it. They go back again the next another few nights. They were out having fun, so they decided to go back out there again. This time, this figure's walking down the road, and they pull up to it, and the thing didn't even acknowledge him, didn't even turn its head, nothing, and then just went off into the woods. Yeah, oh yeah, I've heard of Centrella, PA. Yeah, which like York, Pennsylvania has got a lot of stuff that crazy stuff that goes on too. Yeah, there's a lot of mines in New Jersey. Like I said, that whole area in New England is just loaded with paranormal activity as well as cryptids and well, if you remember, the Warrens did a case on a werewolf up there near I believe it's Rhode Island, and there was a werewolf case. Keith and Carl Johnson they told me about the vampires that are up in Rhode Island as well, and I'm sure my Reynolds family, because they're part of the colonial history of Rhode Island, I'm sure they've probably seen a thing or two in Rhode Island back in the day too, back then in the 1700s and all that. The town that's still burning underneath. Yeah, yeah, Central. Yeah, that's a pretty active spot. Was bigger Glimmerman sightings since the last. I believe so. So yeah, it was. Oh, neat. Yeah, I know there's some buried up there in Rhode Island, is what Keith and Carl told me. There's a bunch of vampires buried up there because when I go visit them, they're gonna take and show me the vampire graves. Graffiti Highway, yep, I've heard of Graffiti Highway as well. I've seen pictures of Graffiti Highway. Remember the Warrens went to England. Oh yeah, England. That's right. Yeah, for the werewolf. I knew it was somewhere. I knew it was something England that they went to. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strange happenings in the New England area. From even in New York. I mean, we've seen some strange stuff. And I had something interesting today. The golf course I work at, that I'm the assistant superintendent at, the 9-hole course. There's an old cemetery on the golf course. I saw it today, and we take care of it. We maintain it and mow it and stuff. And the newest grave is 1970s in there. The rest are all 1800s. And it's just a small little cemetery. There's a few stones that are busted off. I'm sure there's probably more stones buried in the ground out there. But how strange is that that you hear a cemetery on a golf course, which is neat. I just got shown that today. I never knew it was there, but I just started there, so I didn't know about it. This is the first time really we take care of two courses, an 18 hole and a 9 hole. And this first time I've been on the 9 hole really doing some work, and I we got shown that today, and I found that was pretty interesting. You don't hear something like that, a cemetery on a golf course, but who knows? It may be haunted too, because the town that it's in is haunted. So town's got uh, Chillicothe, Missouri is connected to the Native Americans, and the Native Americans were ran out because they settlers moved in and they dammed the river up, pushing the Native Americans north. So in search of water and food and stuff like that. Now, a lot of the houses are built on Indian burial grounds and mounds and stuff like that. And there's underground tunnels in that town as well. We found a few of them, and I actually wanted to jump down in one and explore it, but I was told I couldn't. But you never know what you might find in one of them underground tunnels. And they were deep too. The tunnel was they were digging with a backhoe and they caught the top of it and collapsed the top of it with a backhoe claw. And and it was connected to the tunnel they found earlier, which, as you know, back in Prohibition days, they used to use tunnels for bootlegging, and that's how they would escape, is through tunnels and stuff like that. And the walls were actually cinder block, so you could tell it was definitely a man-made tunnel, and they really reinforced it. Somebody said that it went to the courthouse out to the railroad station, and but yeah, that town of Chillicothe's got its history and hauntings, and the old woman's prison that they tore down was haunted. That thing was built in 1800s, and the one building was the real old one. Then they added on to it and built newer ones, and the whole land itself is just haunted right there. And then you've got Slagle's Mill. That's another haunted location out there. A little history of that is Henry Slagle. He was a judge for Livingston County, and this man had been married 6 times. All 5 of his wives mysteriously just vanished. One of them was found hung from the bridge, the mill bridge, and he was accused of it, but there was not he was a judge, there was not enough evidence to convict him, so he remarried. He ended up getting remarried to his 6th one. Well, the brother of the 6th wife found out how he was and how mean and nasty this man was. He headed out here to Missouri to go. He was going to take care of the guy. He was going to off. Well, Slagle got the drop on him and shot him right through the back with a double barrel shotgun and buried him in the road up there by the cemetery somewhere. They never did find the guy's body at all. And he's buried in the cemetery up there. And we've investigated the cemetery up there several times, and we've captured figures on thermal. We've done spirit box sessions up there, captured a little girl crying. Um, Slagle's son, Henry, I've got him on spirit box before, saying his name. We've had rocks thrown at us up there and and stuff like that. Then you go down the road, and then you got Jones Cemetery down the road, which is also haunted by a skinwalker, which is another nasty being. And that skinwalker likes to grab people and almost impaled me with a fence post that night. So yeah, we've got our share here. The town I live in is haunted between the Civil War and the Mormons and all that stuff is through here and the Bothwell families and so but we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap up here for the night since we're getting nasty weather and um so we may be on Sunday. We'll see what goes on. We might be on Sunday night. Um so with that being said, everybody have a good weekend. Have a safe Easter. Um enjoy Easter with your families and we will see you maybe Sunday. Um, I know it's Easter Sunday. Ash County has Bigfoot and has a little Indian ghost girl for a companion. Yeah, I've heard of that as well. Ash County, yeah. I remember Mountain Monsters did an episode where they were seeing that girl in that cabin and they were after that Bigfoot out there and Buck seen that girl in that cabin. Thank you, Russell. Very interesting show. Thanks. You too, Sandy. Happy Easter. Dad feeling better? Yeah, he's feeling better. Um, Night, Gary. And I thank you guys for joining me tonight. You too, Granzer. And hopefully we'll see you guys on Sunday night. We got a busy day tomorrow. We're going to go build some equipment. So, yeah, the kids are all out for spring break for Easter. So I believe it's Easter Sunday this Sunday. So we don't really celebrate Easter. Easter's not my favorite holiday. Thanks, Carol. Hey, Carol, after the show, I'm going to holler at you. So I'll video call you after the show here. But with that being said, remember if you're being bullied in the paranormal field, you do have a voice. Nobody's better than anybody in this field. We're all after the same common goal to prove the existence of life after death. So with that being said, hopefully we'll see you all Sunday night. Have a safe and healthy weekend. If you're investigating this weekend, have a safe travel and we will see you again soon. God bless everybody. Have a good night.